Alright, so slope. Most of us are pretty well acquainted with slope. I just wanted to refresh your memory. Remember that slope is a ratio. We compare how fast something goes up compared to how fast something else goes up or down. So typically we talk about it being the change in y over the change in x. And it has different meanings, whatever y and x are. It could be meters per second if you're talking about speed that you threw a ball or something like that. It could be dollars that you earn per hour. And so that's the dollars is on the y versus the hours. And so how many dollars do you earn each extra hour that you work, right? And so we've got 4 lines here, A, B, C, D, and we're going to just refresh how we can find that. So on a line like A, this one right here, what I look for is where it crosses at a point. And typically you're given an X and a Y and an X and a Y. But I just want to do it visually today. And we'll talk about the actual subtracting and all that. So from this point to this point, it increases by 2. So that's a change in the Y value of 2. It moves over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we've got rise 2, run 5. So the slope, which we usually call m, is 2/5. And it's positive because it went up and to the right. We do everything left to right in our culture. We read left to right, and so remember our number line also goes from negatives to positives. And so as time moves on to the right, this is going up. Now B is interesting because as time moves on to the right, B doesn't go up or down. If you were to describe how steep that line is to somebody, you would say 0, because it's not going up, it's not going down. 0 over whatever you want is always going to be 0. And so that's the slope of B. That's your horizontal line. Horizontal lines have slopes of 0. Moving on to C. C looks like it crosses right here. Also looks like it crosses up here. We'll talk about, and you could go down here, you could go down here, it doesn't matter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2. So this one's going down 5 and over 2. It's going down as you move to the right. If you took a bigger space, you'd have 10 and 4. And so you would notice that it was decreasing more, but it was also going across more. And so all those fractions reduce to 5/2. Because it's going down, it's going to be a negative 5/2. And D is a vertical line. And so remember, we're describing how steep something is with a number. So if you keep increasing A, you get to a really, really big positive number. It's increasing, increasing, increasing. So what's the biggest positive number we could use? Well, we could say, well, then vertical lines have a slope of infinity. The problem with that is that what if you took this from the C and you're saying, well, what if it just became more negative and became really, really negative, 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 negative? And so that we could say, well, then it's a negative infinity. So is it positive infinity? Is it increasing? Or is it negative infinity, decreasing? Well, the answer is you can't have both increasing and decreasing. So we say the slope is undefined. So there's slopes. Remember that you have undefined slopes for vertical lines because it's increasing so quickly, or it's increasing so slowly we can't represent it with positive or negative. We are going to discuss this because this is in all your brains anyways. Rise, over, run. But really we just did it. When we subtract the two y's, we find the distance between 4 and 2, which is 2. when we subtract the two x's, this x is a 2 and this x is a negative 3, and we would do 2 minus a negative 3. So, parallel slopes. Parallel lines have the same slope. If I had a line that was parallel to this one, it would also have a slope of 2/5, parallel to the red one. If we have perpendicular slopes, the red one and the orange one are actually perpendicular. You could think of see how that's making a perfect 90-degree angle. Notice the difference between 2/5 and negative 5/2. What we call those are opposite plus or minus reciprocals. So 2/5 became negative 5/2. That's what we mean by that. And that's your quick run through what slope was again. Congrats, you made it.